Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender, the Me, Myself, and I playthrough of the main event scenario. Game is published by GMT Games, designed by Salvatore Vasta. We're getting ready to go into the fair weather of 1944. It is clear all throughout Europe and the Mediterranean. Skies have cleared. The war is coming. We will start off. There is no real weather phase. Everything is fair in July, August, and September. Okay, and no one's going to declare war on anything right yet. There's the economy phase. As much as I'd like to give some points to my allies, I think I'm going to need all the points for the Germans this turn because I have to try to run to better defensive positions and still be able to build some stuff and replenish some airplanes. So nothing's going to anyone. For those of you that are just listening to this, the Germans are at 34, the British are at 36, and the Russians are at 48 production points. So, strategic warfare phase, the Germans are +1, the Russians are +2. The Western Allies have like a +4, so they're going to be +6. So I think from the German standpoint, the best thing that they can do is try to use their submarines against the Russians just to maintain themselves at this 4 lost factories for another turn so that they get more production points next turn. So that's what I'm going to try and do. The Russians really want to use their partisans to try and break open a German defensive line somewhere, so they're not going to use their partisans. So we get to combat commitment. The Germans put out their submarine, and then we roll dice. The Germans roll 2 + 1 is a 3. The Russians roll a 5 + 2 is a 7. Halved to 3.5 rounds up to a 4. A 4 to a 3 is the Germans get their factory loss marker moved down to 3. And then we have to roll for the German submarine 4 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4. So not until November. Okay. Then we go to the West. Germans are still at +1 because of their airplane up in Norway, but the Americans, the West starts off with +2 because the U.S. is in the war, and then they have 4 bombed markers. So they go up to a +6. And so the Germans roll 6 + 1 is a 7. The Americans roll a 2 + 6 is an 8, and an 8 to a 7. Did the Allies have anything to play? They did not have an ultra marker to play, so they would not have played their partisans. Same thing as the Russians. They want to use it to break through the line. So, a 7 to an 8. Amazingly enough, if you look at the combat results table, a 7 to an 8 is a diamond, so the Germans regained 2 factories this turn. So they're only down 2 lost factories. So that's something for them. They're still going to be very cramped this turn and next. Next turn they'll be able to have some extra points to maybe clear up some oddities. But okay, strategic movement. The Germans had the marker over here. So take this off. I really don't know what to do here. My thought is I think I want to try to defend this river line for Romania, so I'm going to strategically move this guy into Bucharest. Right or wrong, that's what I'm going to do. The West has theirs over here. Put that into their box. I really don't see a good one for the West, so I'm going to just skip it. And the Russians I really don't see a good one for the Russians anymore either, the Soviets. So they're going to skip theirs too. And that takes us into Axis operations phase. The Axis has horrible things that they have to try to do. First off, this German airplane, the 4th Luft with 4 sorties, he will attack the Russian 4th Air with 4 sorties. The Russians are at -4. The Germans start off at +2 for German and then -4 for sorties. So it's -2 to -4. Germans need a 5 or 6. They rolled a 5. Now we have to have the Russians not roll a 6. They rolled a 1. So it's a 2-for-1 split to the German favor. And that's what I really needed to try and make this work. I think I'm going to have to do the same thing with the guy in Velaluki. 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to be on that line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So the guy in Velaluki is going to do the same thing to the guy in Bologoya. Again, a 5 or 6 gives me a chance at a 2-for-1 split. 4, so I won't get there. Best Russians will get is a 2, so that's 1 each. And then I'm going to use my last sortie on the guy in Velaluki to take on the... I should leave that at -5. Because now I'm -3 net. So a 6 would give me a 2-for-1 split. Maybe. So Germans roll a 5. -3 is a 2, so they won't get a 2-for-1 split on this one. But they will put another sortie on that one. And what that does is that keeps those... I'm going to move away from the 5-hex range of these 2 Russian airplanes. So they will not be able to support. I've knocked out a 3rd one. These other 2 will be able to move up and basically help with 1 attack. And I'll still have a German airplane sitting here in Zernati. So we'll have to see how we do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First thing I have to do is activate the 2nd Panzer, which costs me 2. And he's going to mobile attack the flipped over 3rd Guards unit. So as of right now, before we do any kind of combat commitment, the attacker is +2 for German, +2 because he's armor, and the attacker is +1 for being elite, -2 for being flipped. So right now it's a +4 to a -1. I really need to make sure I take that hex. The only thing I could really do with the Germans at this point would be to throw my airplane to give me a +6, so that even if he went through his armor, he'd only be a +1, +6 to +1. Anything other than a 1 is a really good chance of me pushing him out of the hex, which is what I need. I need him to retreat from the hex. That leaves me with 8 movement points, by the way, for the armor. If I get him to retreat from the hex, then the 4th Panzer can withdraw. And the 2nd Panzer, with his remaining 8 movement points, can actually move into blocking positions. It's not a real offensive against the Russians. It's more of a, hey, we need to do something here kind of move. So... I'm going to use it. So, go to combat commitment. The Russians, looking at this, really want to save their 3 tanks markers for use in the offensive on their turn. And losing this 1 guards unit won't make a difference to them. They have 48 production points. They could care less. It'd be nice to not lose him, because maybe he could help fill a hole along the way. But next turn, he'll be easily rebuilt, and by September, actually be at full strength and able to do something in the autumn months. So I'm not too worried about losing him if I do. The Germans committed and threw in their airplane. The Russians did not. So it's now +6 to -1, and the Germans roll. A 5 plus 6 is an 11. The Russians roll. A 5 minus 1 is a 4. So it's an 11 to a 4. And an 11 to a 4 is a DD. So the Russians will put that unit on their faction card here in the eliminated box. Now the Germans could take the hex with a no enemy zone of control and try and do weird things. I'm not sure that that's a good thing to do. I mean, they could try to cut off these two guards units would be sort of surrounded, but they're currently in supply, which means they attack at full strength. So you can throw, bring up an airplane, throw tanks markers, maybe put a partisan on the armored unit if he tries to stick his nose out. Yeah, I think I want to just try and defend as best I can. 1, 2, 3. So, boy, where to defend though? All right, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into 30, 39. So that's 5 more movement points. Leaves me 3, but I'm happy. I'm going to activate the 4th Panzer. Actually, I think I'm going to activate the Hungarian first. And he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get behind the mountains there. Maybe I don't want to move this armored unit that far. Okay, well, started up with this, so I guess I have to continue with what I'm trying to do. We're trying to delay that as long as possible. Or do we care? Trying to debate whether I should even be trying to defend Romania or if I should just go back to the mountains and just let Romania go. Well, let's go do some things in the north first. We definitely have to do sort of a wholesale retreat here because he's within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 8, 16th's got to get out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the Nor and the 14th have to get away too. So I think we're going to back up the Nor to 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4 down the rail. We're going to move the 14th to there. Or do I just run like heck? See, this is 4 to here. He came from here, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Could go See, he can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He can attack there one time. 1, 2, 3. I think I'm going to go all the way back to Kalinin. This guy. There's 1, 2, 3. Ick. Well, Vassal goes here for sure. So that's 2 more. So I spent 4. Put me down to 0. Or 30 rather. Dang it. Well, I know that I want this to be 1 to go to here. Or do I go back 2 spaces? I go back 2 spaces. Yeah, I go back 2 spaces. 2, 4. This guy goes 2, 4. This guy goes 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. So it's 3 more. Should be 27. This guy goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I spend another 1 to move this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can't get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can get all the way to Riga. I'll go there. And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I started at 34, so I'm at the right place, 25. I need to bring this armored unit forward. He's going to go, oh, not that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or 7, or whatever that takes me to get to. So the north is fairly well reinforced. Now it's the south that I have to do. That was 2 more. But 23. Dang. I'm not going to have enough money to, enough production points to do what I need to do. Because my 4th Panzer. So he goes here. This guy goes here. And this guy goes 1, 2, 3, 4 into Zernati. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Should put me at 19. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And there. Where do I have the garrison stand there? I have the garrison stand there. Not spend the point. So I have to spend another point for this guy. That puts me down to 18. So I'm going to double check my count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Started at 34. I'm down to 18, so that's correct. Not going to move anything in the Italian front. I do have to move a couple units here in the west to try and make a semi-coherent front. I'd have to spend 4 more points, so I'll be down to 14. This armored unit, move 1 back here. This infantry unit has to go 2, 4. And this infantry unit goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's not much of a front, but at least it's a front. And then the tricksy part is that the Germans will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can go 9, 10 into Antwerp. Oh, I forgot to take the bomb markers off of it. After strategic warfare. So those aren't actually here. I could go there and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and try and bust up one of his fighters. Or I could just go here and sit here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can cover all of those. I could fly even further south, so I could cover the south. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe fly to here. So this is 10. That takes a sortie. And then if I move him again to go to 2 sorties, I can go to here south of in the with the hex 3119 has Alsace-Lorraine, actually the name of it in there. Take a second sortie. Not that way. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he covers the south all the way to the Paris. 2, 3, 4, 5. This one in Sedan covers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Covers all the way to just east of Antwerp. So Calais and the hex north east of it are susceptible to being whacked on without any air cover, but I have air cover on all my other guys. I have lots of, and the rest of the coast is covered. So I think that's going to have to be as good as I can go. I do need to save some production points to try and build some of my infantry. I have an airplane, 3 infantry, and 2 garrisons. And I also want to try and maybe recover at least 1 airplane here in the center. Here in the west, maybe 2. So with me having 14 left, I should be able to bring up a couple airplanes, maybe even 3, and build like 4 infantry or something. Depends on who gets flipped, because I have a flipped guy over. I have 3 points of flipped units on the board that I want to try and do too. So just to double check me, 2, 3. There's 4 movement points, 4 production points in the west. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I spent 20, started at 34, I'm at 14, so that's right. Checking supply. Everyone is currently in supply. Oh, no, this guy's not in supply. The Romanian garrison unit is not in supply where he's at because of zones of control. Everybody's in supply here. Yes, everybody's in supply. Okay, that is the German operations phase and beginning of turn stuff. So, thus ends the German attempt to defend in July of 1944. I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And we will return with the Western operations phase for July 1944 in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.